no, there wasn't it wasn't a delayed echo. It just sounds my microphone is with arm's reach. I'm not up on top of it like some people.
You get that throat mic by just swallowing your Yeti.
At the risk of death. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
the risk. You mean the mortal lock?
Anyway, it'll be fine for now. We'll figure it out.
No, we won't, because we haven't done this in so long. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
All right, bubble gum and toothpicks.
All right, we're ready to, I guess, start this thing. Is this a thing?
Is that what we're calling it?
I hear it's episode 433.
Yes, and it's just been a while. So, hey, I'm Aaron. GameEnthus.com. Is that how I start this thing? Hey, I'm Aaron. It's been a long time since we've done one of these things, but we're back. Tiny is here.
I am here. And yes, it has been a while.
It has been a while. Mike is here.
I am also here.
You are. This is episode 433. Man, it's been a while.
Whatever.
It's a whole thing. I didn't shave my head.
It's a number. It's a number.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a number. We're still here. It's been over 10 years. We're still doing it.
Since the last show? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
COVID really has been a long time.
I lost a lot of hair. A lot more gray. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Mike, I have not spoken to you in... Well, I've spoken to you more recently than March.
Since
I was going to say
2-3 days ago? Yeah, this morning? I forget. Are we talking about text or a voice call? It depends.
We saw each other in person 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was longer ago than that.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It was sometime this century.
It was. So, Mike, I guess, what's been going on, man? What have you been up
to? Obviously, loads of things have happened since the last show, but I'm not going to get into all of it. It's been a busy summer, as it always is for me at work, which means I haven't had a ton of time for lengthy game sessions or anything. So that's why that's going to be sort of brief.
It's a real shame.
But to just accelerating on to something recent, I did watch The Suicide Squad.
No spoilers.
The other day.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't? Oh my God!
I've been trying to get the wife to watch. She wants to watch the Will Smith one. I keep telling her, "Why? Let's just we don't need to."
Whoa! Will Smith and His Amazing Friends is a great movie.
So it's great. It was
it's a fun movie. It's a movie. I'll say that.
I'll give you that. It's a movie.
I think it is a fun movie that you just have to ignore its premise, because only 2 of the people on that team are a threat to Superman, and their whole thing is we put this team together because what if Superman ever invaded the Oval Office? And you're
I'm glad I brought that pretty hard, man.
Glad I brought an 80-pound clown with a bat with us.
Well, she can distract a lot of people.
And the bat.
Well, here's an interesting perspective that I don't think a whole lot of people have. I had never watched Suicide Squad. I watched The Suicide Squad, which is the name of the new one.
So you didn't see the first one?
This
one has an article in front. God.
Right. That's how you know which one's which without looking up the year. So
I was just going to say James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Well, that helps. That helps a lot. But I watched that.
Not the box office receipts.
And I watched it at home because we have
because it was free on HBO Max. Yeah, so why would you go to the theaters?
Well, free in quotes, but it was available in my house.
There was not an additional cost to it.
Right. Yep. Unlike Marvel's approach, which Disney says pony up the bucks, even though you're ponying up the bucks every month. And
I did that. I watched Black Widow that way.
I didn't. I'm not going to. I will watch it when it is available.
Black Widow found me.
So you watched it on someone else's account. Gotcha.
Yeah. That.
Whatever, however you get there.
If you pay for that, do you only unlock it for 24 hours, or do you have
it's on your account until
as long as you keep paying for Disney Plus.
Right.
Oh.
I mean,
it's like a PlayStation Plus game.
I'll put it this way: I paid the $30 the pretty much the night it came out, and I watched it then, and I also watched it when I watched over at my parents' house with them.
Mm. You watched it twice, huh?
Wow. Now you got your money's worth.
The 3 people that watched it there in those 2 sittings paid for the $30 paid for itself.
Sure.
Now, did your parents send a third-party out-of-state check to Disney because they watched it on your account?
We watched it together, and I was in the room when we watched it. So
And Mickey Mouse was standing behind the couch holding a baseball bat.
Sorry, Mike. We got a tangent.
We're all
Suicide
over the
Squad.
place. So I watched. So yes, no specific spoilers about anything, but I will say, I enjoyed it probably more than I thought I would.
Okay, that's good.
There were a number of scenes. I'm not going to say how many, but there were a number of scenes where I legitimately laughed to the point of like I'm gonna rewind a couple of seconds and watch that again.
Yes,
because that was funny.
That's
100%.
Especially something that happened very early on, which I was fearful that it was going to be the Johnny Depp steps off the sinking ship onto the pier moment of the movie, which means in the Pirates of the Caribbean entire series, as far as I'm concerned, it never got any better than that moment in the beginning of the very first Pirates movie when he stepped off the sinking ship onto the pier. Don't need to watch anything more about Pirates of the Caribbean. The movies are not that good. But thankfully,
into the lore, but the first one was too long to me.
The first Suicide Squad?
First Pirates of the Caribbean.
The first.
I felt
I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean is the best one, and like they.
Oh, definitely. Like
they
after
go
that, they're
downhill from
unwatchable
there.
movies, essentially.
Well, I'm never.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but like
I didn't see that last one they did because it just why
it's on Disney Plus.
No.
Oh, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure.
No.
But I tried watching the second one twice. I could not get through it either time, and I never bothered trying on the third, the fourth, or what?
The problem is I can't tell you the different storylines.
I know the Dutch East India Company became an antagonist, and then they all died.
See, that sentence alone says this movie can't be any good. That's
the Dutch East India Company became an antagonist.
I mean, it's just So, but thankfully, Suicide Squad is still entertaining beyond that initial moment. But there are lulls. It is 2 hours and something like 15 minutes.
That seems reasonable. I mean, that's too long.
But for a comedy, that's a long movie.
There's action, though. Like,
I get it. There's action, but to me, this is a good comedy, and it's a reasonable action movie. And beyond that, it just is what it is.
Man,
it could have been 90 minutes, and I still would have enjoyed it as much or more if they cut out the right thing, because there are some lulls, and that's fine. And then truthfully, the ending didn't do much for me. But when it was all over, it inspired me to actually go back and watch Suicide Squad for the first time. And I did. I watched the whole thing.
I'm proud of you. Look at you.
It's not as good. It's definitely not as good. All of the hype I've been hearing about how awful that particular Joker is helped me go, well, he was bad, but not. I didn't want to like crawl into a ball every time he showed up on screen. Like it was bad. It was like Kevin McAllister turned into the Joker. That's what he looked like every time I saw him. And I was like,
custom Joker license plates.
It was stupid.
Did he go to the DMV to get like
the whole movie is stupid. Like
it is.
You can't pick apart everything, but it wasn't as fun. Nowhere near as fun as this new one.
The new one is rated R, right?
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh, it is a hard R.
Hard R. Hard R.
Like,
well, so I watched it on vacation. I took went on a family vacation, and at the end of it, I watched it on an iPad, and I got told that people could hear me laughing in the house. Because there are legitimate funny. I watched it when it came out at midnight or whatever. I watched it that night. Like, there are legitimately funny points, and I think this definitely captured the spirit of what I remember of the Suicide Squad comics.
Which
so
is
much better
information than I have. I've never before this I never even heard of it.
And that's the thing. Like, movie. I'm glad your feedback on it is because you're not, let's say, a diehard comic guy.
He's not. What?
And like, I remember reading the definitely inappropriate for the time I was reading them. 80s Suicide Squad where like they're just killing people off left and right.
So prior to these movies, I'm pretty sure Harley Quinn was the only person in either movie, only character in either movie that I'd ever heard of before. Unless I'm forgetting somebody else, then I'm like, oh right, no, that like
Captain
the shark.
Boomerang is in there, right? You heard of him?
Yeah, Captain Boomerang.
Well,
just don't say anything. Don't say anything.
He's in there, but like, no, I was gonna more say like if you played the Arkham games, like Deadshot shows up in that.
See, I didn't even remember that. Like,
I mean,
sure
he looks,
that's true.
Let's just put it this way:
the Arkham games. Which one?
He's the random sniper in I think City, and is he also in Origins? Because
was he the one in Blackgate?
He might also be in Blackgate. Because
I do remember there being some sniper character. But this is the thing that's wild, and I don't think this is really a spoiler, but. So okay, Tiny, you're gonna have to help me with these names, but I think so. Will Smith's character was Deadshot, right?
That's Deadshot, yes.
Okay, so Idris Elba's character's name is Bloodsport,
yes,
but almost a carbon copy.
Well, so they are very different characters in the comic. They are
similar. Who gets paid to kill people.
Well,
I guess
so
it's harder to.
Well, so Deadshot's a mercenary. Like can hit anything, and like Will Smith does one trick shot in that whole movie. Bloodsport, on the other hand, is a guy who tried to did avoid the Vietnam War, but his brother went in his place, got seriously injured, and Bloodshot then suffered a psychological break where he blames, and Lex Luthor exploits this, blames Superman for the Vietnam War, and that's why he ends up shooting Superman with a kryptonite bullet.
Which is referenced
in the thing.
I guess that's a spoiler.
It's in the trailer. Like
okay, it's just a line. It has nothing to do with the plot. It's just they mention it as a backstory.
Before the movie, Deadshot or Bloodsport was kind of like a D-list character. He could teleport guns in, and like he didn't have that suit or anything. He just kind of had like a red band, like it almost looked like a Turtles bandana on his head.
Oh, okay.
And like that kind of stuff. But now they've introduced the comic to reflect Idris Elba's character. So they're like, oh, Amanda Waller gave him that suit so that he could actually like cross dimensions.
His suit is better than Will Smith's suit. Will Smith put that bag over his head one time for like 10 seconds in that movie.
Yo, you don't
actually clean.
You don't hire Will Smith to put a mask over Will Smith's face.
Right, and that's why I get that. But just pretend his character doesn't wear a mask.
But his is Deadshot accurate. Like they were going for a relatively accurate comic book.
Now,
this one they have reflected. We're going to make the comic book look like Idris Elba's character.
Now, at the end of Justice League, whether it was in the theatrical version or not, I don't know because I've never watched that. But at least the Snyder cut, this other guy, who is also a sniper guy, who's a white man, and wears an eye patch or something.
That's Deathstroke.
Oh,
that is a very different character. He is a sniper character, yeah. But he is more like Hawkeye and Taskmaster-ish. But he's also like a super intelligent and can like foresee people's moves and blah, blah, blah. So he's not as like just snipery. Like he does do that, but he's more like a.
Okay. Well, he didn't do anything in that movie.
Too. Like
he has a sword.
He fights Batman and make.
That's fine, but
he's beaten Batman. I mean, he's manipulated the Flash to end up stabbing himself.
How do you do that?
So like he had a staff that like put out explosives so that it kind of forced the Flash to run in a specific direction, and then he just held his sword up, and the Flash like impales part of himself on it. So like but that's because his brain is so like he can see so many moves ahead, kind of stuff. But that's Deathstroke. But like also there's the discussion like Deathstroke's in the TV. He was in Arrow a lot. And then there's the movie Deathstroke, and then there's also the animated Deathstroke.
See, the more times you say his name, I'm thinking maybe he was the guy in Blackgate. The
Arkham Deathstroke game. Also shows up in Batman Origins, in the Arkham Origins,
and that's one I haven't played.
So he's the premiere fight, the one that everyone
actually that would make sense because Blackgate is not the same game as Origins, but it's supposed to be taking place.
Mirror, it's the sister game or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, So the Suicide Squad. Yeah,
I recommend, especially if you have
I'm gonna
HBO,
watch it,
it's
most
worth your
definitely.
time. Again, I wish it was a little bit shorter, but it is what it is. I would definitely be tempted to watch it again because I had a good time with it.
I see Rhett Noob also mentioned Doom Patrol. Yo, Doom Patrol. If you have access to HBO Max or whatever, you should also watch Doom Patrol. That is a very good DC series.
I was concerned that watching this movie was going to cause me to want to watch more DC stuff.
Well, none of this stuff is related. So
no, not directly. But I saw the Harley Quinn animated show on the list of stuff, and I was like, should I look at that? I don't know. I don't really want to waste the time.
That show is very good, and I think you should watch it. And Ron Funches as King Shark is the...
Oh, that's right, yes.
He should play King Shark in all of the things. There should be a second release. Well,
I had to be
King
reminded.
Shark's in the video game, in the Justice League the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Coming out another year.
Like, there should be an alternate voice track with Ron Funches doing it. Replace Sly Stallone. King Shark's also showed up at the Flash TV show. Put Ron Funches in that. Because it's a very good portrayal, but it's also a goofy portrayal.
I did have to be reminded when the credits rolled at the end of the movie that Stallone was the voice of the shark. It's like it. In fact, his name showed up in the credits. I was like, spoilers. Stallone's in this movie? Wait a minute. That was like at the beginning. I was like, when does he show up? What does he do? That's weird. And then no, he doesn't.
Yes, it's another like, oh, he did the voice, but someone else.
Where does Vin Diesel show up in
the check? So.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. So
all right.
But
anyway, I'm glad James Gunn got to do an R-rated comic book movie, and I hope that this finally gives a little bit more reason for Disney to just let whatever happens with Deadpool 3, just let it happen, because it's okay. You can make some money. It could be a good entertaining thing, just not for kids.
That's not going to happen if they're bringing him into the MCU. That's definitely
exceptions will be made for money.
But if they keep it standalone, or at least the standalone version, do you think if they say, all right, he will show up in some MCU stuff,
then it will not be R-rated?
No, not that stuff. But do you think they would at that point say any standalone Deadpool movies have to be PG-13?
Yes, I would imagine, unless it's like,
what is that?
Oh,
like,
there's a Deadpool look in the next Doctor Strange movie, like, oh look, there's a window and there's Deadpool in it, or whatever, and it's another universe, like you could wave it away.
Kind of like how Wolverine's been referenced in Deadpool so far. It's just a reference. It's just like, but it's a reference, but he's in that world because they also hook up. Colossus shows up. Sure, that's true. You're right.
And whatnot. Like there's the difference there. The thing is, and the one you have to look at is Disney just approved the first Deadpool MCU crossover in the Free Guy commercial. Yeah, where they had Korg and Deadpool just riffing during that commercial.
I will say, I mean, if we're talking about just foul language, I wouldn't care if they just beeped it out to make it a PG-13 movie. Honestly, sometimes to me that can be almost funnier than.
Which is what they did with that second re-release of Deadpool. They made a PG-13 release.
Is that what they did? They beeped
Deadpool
out
2
I've not
around
seen that.
Christmas like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember the Once Upon a Deadpool.
Yeah, and I like it's, and yeah, like you can have fun with unintentional censoring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's.
But anyway. We'll see. Like there's a whole lot. Just a reminder, there are 4 Marvel movies this year, and then all the other Marvel stuff.
Shang-Chi
I'm pretty sure
the Eternals, and then Spider-Man in December.
I'm quite confident I'm not going to watch any of those movies until they're free on DC Plus or Disney Plus.
Understood.
DC Plus.
They're still sticking to theatrical releases only for those, right?
They said Eternals and Free Guy were going to be 2 theatrical only, so that seems to indicate Shang-Chi is going to be.
No, things are changing very rapidly these days.
Right? And we'll see what happens on that stuff. Since we're talking about superheroes, I'll bring this up real quick. Did anyone watch the What If? The first episode of What If?
I didn't get a chance to. I'm going to.
You should watch it. I enjoyed it. I'll put it this way: it's a 34-minute episode.
Okay.
And this what if is what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? It goes at a clip because they essentially retell the whole Captain America movie, but in 34 minutes.
Wow.
I think it works well. And one of the things I'll point out is Peggy Carter goes into the Vita Ray machine. She doesn't scream. Steve Rogers screamed when
Carter is tougher than Steve Rogers. So
no, and that's the thing. Like she was also like, trained in hand-to-hand combat and whatnot. Steve Rogers was a skinny kid from Brooklyn, so she might have actually been the better candidate for this.
I watched it. I got the family to catch up on all the Disney TV stuff, so no reason why we couldn't do the what if
Disney TV stuff.
I assume Loki, Scarlet Witch.
The
Winter Soldier,
the MCU stuff.
So, yeah, everything. So
okay,
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I've enjoyed all those.
Not like Agents of Shield or what was that one that was supposed to be terrible. The
Inhumans. The Inhumans, where the villain wants equality for all the people. How terrible! That's that whole series. Like, it's the ruling class of Inhumans are like, we can't let you change. And the bad guy's like, but what if all Inhumans didn't have to live in the mines or whatever? It's a bad show. I think Disney asked you like 3 times if you want to. Are you sure you want to watch this? Like, we have it on here, but are you sure?
We could just turn your television off for you if you'd like.
Right.
We sent some people to your house.
They'll let you watch Agents of Shield, Peggy Carter, the one shots. Before they're like, yeah, you don't. They still don't like list any of that stuff to the Inhumans. So, but anyway, yeah, superhero stuff like that. Like, I don't know, Loki. I really enjoyed Loki.
So did I.
It was fine. It was good.
And
I just hope that they, I mean, I know Kang is supposed to be an antagonist for the next Ant-Man, so I'm assuming whatever threat he poses will not be resolved, as he's supposed to be the big bad for the next phase, correct? Is that wrong in that?
Yes, but are you asking if that Kang?
Oh, you're right.
So Mike, have you watched Loki?
Yeah. I get it. There's a trillion.
It's been a month or whatever since it ended or whatever. So sorry.
Limitless number of versions of any character. Or
but
whatever.
So that's Immortus. That is the best Kang. Let's call it, and the oldest one. So like the Kang that we're probably going to see is like Kang the Conqueror, the guy has the statue in the TVA at the end of Loki. So we'll see what happens there. But like they're also building the Young Avengers. Like we've now been introduced to Patriot, and the Hawkeye show has both Hawkeyes. Patriot was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. You have Tommy and Billy and Wanda.
Once
WandaVision
she finds them again, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then what am I forgetting? Am I forgetting someone? Yeah, I think that's everyone.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
You could say that the kid from Iron Man 3 is going to be something, but we'll see.
Kid Loki.
He'll be like, and Kid Loki. He shows up in other stuff, but
Croc.
just Croc and old Loki wandering the stars. But anyway, Aaron, what have you been up to?
So during our hiatus, anybody listens to this show for quite some time might be under the impression that I really like music because I really do. So I got a notification from the podcast host that, hey, Spotify has told us that brought it to our attention there's some licensed music. So unfortunately, I had to go in and kind of make 400 plus episodes like drafts and figure out what I'm going to do next. And I'm slowly pulling down the ones that we did live and just taking the audio from those videos and just re-uploading it for some of those episodes. I've only done one because Premiere Pro keeps acting like a fool. But I guess I have them all essentially, but I got to figure out what I'm going to do. So that'll be interesting. So yeah. And one of the reasons for the hiatus because I moved, and yeah, it was. I can't get into all of it. We don't have time, but
moving is time consuming.
Yes,
moving is a wonderful nightmare. It is that's the only way I can put it. I had not moved since I hadn't moved in almost 18 years. So it was
burn it all down, just start new.
It was
like that's
nightmare.
There's
and no matter how many things can go wrong, have nothing to do with anything you've done. It's just yeah. So I can't get in all of it. But I'll just give one example. When we were gonna do our final walkthrough, okay, we're supposed to have closed like late May. And something happened, and an underwriter for the buyer was like, hey, there's a lien on something you own. Underwriters can come up with anything. My sandwich is cold. I got to review this thing. They have that much power at any point during the process. So our buyer was like, yeah, we can't close. So we're like, okay, so when are you doing your walkthrough? Their agent told our agent, we're not doing a final walkthrough. We asked several times, when do you want to do a final walkthrough? They were like, no, we're good. I pull up in the house I'm in now, in the driveway to do our final walkthrough, and get a call from my agent saying, oh, yeah, and mind you, we were supposed to have the final walkthrough, our final walkthrough at noon, and then go to closing at 2. I pull up in the driveway, call from my agent. Oh, yeah, the buyers want to do a walkthrough.
And right then and there?
Right then and there. Now, mind you, we moved like 7 minutes away, so I wasn't far from the house we sold.
But you were busy.
But when I say I was livid, I mean, I called my wife. I said, just, you're not going to believe. They were getting in the car to meet me at the new house for the final walkthrough. I said, you're not going to believe this. We have to we had been living there. But, we're trying to live sparingly. So we have just a little bit of stuff out. We're trying to live like it wasn't going to be our house very long because It wasn't. And I drove back to the house, and all 5 of us, all hands on deck, just swept and we did a whole house cleaning in 20 minutes. It was insane. We did it, ran over to the house I'm in now, did our walkthrough. People came by, did theirs, went to close. It was a mess. It was just, that kind of stuff just kept happening. Then the rent back number we got was a third of what the actual cost was. Just, yeah. Dealing with people, our agent was great. The buyer's agent did not know what he was doing. I don't know. I think he bought a cereal box that said real estate agent on it, and he did the maze in the back and was like, I'm ready. It was horrible.
He was the Lionel Hutz of real estate agents.
He had no idea. We asked several times. Then we asked, okay, what do we owe for the rent back? Because we sold our house. We were in it for 45 days past us selling it because the house we were buying, they had a month rent back. The guy gives us a number. We send a check for that number. Then all of a sudden it's the title company calls us and it's oh yeah, we need more money. First of all, why is their title company calling me and not their agent? It's
honestly, that really doesn't surprise me that much from the limited. I've never been in your shoes with this specific problem, but there's always, it seems like no matter who you're talking to, when everything gets finally crunched, it seems like there's always some sort of oh, well, the actual number is. But usually, in my case, it's always been they took more, and then they're sending a check back.
No, it was almost a third less.
but it's been a couple of times where they've been oh yeah, you gotta hand over this many thousands of dollars right now. I'm like, what? Why is it that much? And then when it finally gets crunched out, they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't.
No, but Mike, you know what's weird? You probably dealt with all that at closing, right? You had numbers it was all.
Yes.
So when we bought this house, the sellers had all the rent back stuff as a line item in our closing papers.
Oh, okay.
The buyers, for whatever reason, the agent, somebody did not want to put the rent back numbers into the closing. I have no idea why. No idea. To make a long story short, we gave them a personal check. We mailed them a personal check for the rent back, the number we thought that it was. It was considerably less than what we were really supposed to pay. We asked several times. That's the number we got. I'm like, okay, that's what you want. Cool. I don't know what I don't know how that works, but there you go. So make a long story short, it was not the buyer's fault. So we paid them the money that made sense to pay them because I felt like that's what I'd want. I don't want somebody, if something happens and it's not my fault, why should they be penalized because their agent is garbage?
You drove over back to your old house and had a wheelbarrow full of oiled up pennies and just dumped it on the driveway.
You read that story about the guy who did that?
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it's funny you say that because when we actually handed the keys over, we gave them a cashier's check and said, hey, don't deposit the personal check we gave you. Here's a cashier's check for the full amount. Of course, they had already deposited it. But that after hounding their agent for almost a month saying, why has the check not been deposited yet? They came back into the country because they had left for a couple of weeks, came back and deposited the check, of course, which also made me upset. But then I exchanged emails with the buyer's son. He's an adult. I mean, he has his own kids. And they PayPal me the money that day. So, we treated them right. They did right by us.
Cool. We're good.
So it all worked out. But
I mean, I'm glad the person's son was an adult and you weren't just dealing with a 10-year-old.
Well, I say that because I was just specify that he was somebody who could write checks and do stuff. So it was fun.
He agreed to Fortnite bucks. It was wonderful.
Right. He exchanged something
Roblox
like that.
credits.
So,
sure.
Whatever that.
And then the last thing, and I'll shut up, is some family has people have been visiting and trickling in. Say hi to us, see the house, yada yada. Some family came in from California, and this is the housewarming gift that they got us. So I was very appreciative of it. So
oh
man,
you didn't have one of those already?
I did not. I had the PS5. I did not have the Series X. So my cousin blessed me with everybody, but because the One X went upstairs, so the girls can do all their Just Dance stuff, and I was sort of remoting in because I didn't have an Xbox down here. Well, not a newer one. So hooked it up today. I'm transferring terabytes of stuff over to another drive. So it's nice. So it is now complete. So that was a very nice surprise. I was like, wow,
awesome.
Okay. I mean, we don't need spatulas or anything. So it was like, I got your Series X. I'm like, really?
That's fair.
I was very surprised. Like, are you sure? That's more than some wine glasses. That's
some more wine glasses. You drink all this wine, don't you?
He could have just said, you know what, fine, I'll take it back and get you $500 worth of wine glasses.
That's right.
You can drown in wine glasses, So anyway, so that's it for me. Tony, what have you been up to?
Gotcha. Well, so I'll start with on the Xbox Series front. I went out and bought the storage expansion for it because I was getting tired of moving stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. I think Newegg had it on sale for
a 5 terabyte external. It's not as fast as an SSD.
So I'll be honest, and it's very weird. I've had, I think, at least 2 externals die on my Xbox.
Oh, I've had one for years.
I had the one that was on my Xbox One, and then the controller stopped working. And so and I'm like, oh, maybe it's an Xbox issue. So I plugged in the computer, and the computer also couldn't recognize it. So I was like, oh, that's weird. So I was like, I don't know, the last month I've just been rocking the 800 gigs or whatever that's inside of it. And I was like, nah, I need that terabyte thing. Yeah. So
I have discovered for my Xbox, my situation, there's no reason for me to plug the external USB drives in because they complain. There are issues. Games will show up and then they won't run, or they just won't show up on the. So I was like, you know what? Because I also have that internal expansion drive, and with that, I'm working with the 2 1 terabyte, shrunk down for formatted purposes, whatever the actual number is, 800, whatever.
But it's close enough to 2 terabytes.
But between the 2, I can manage no problem. If I really need to get something off of the external, I could plug it in and see if it sees it or not. But I had a lot of problems, so I just don't even leave an external plugged in.
What was the brand of external? Was it older?
Western Digital. Oh, I have a lot of Western Digital drives.
And I think I had a SanDisk.
Yeah.
Uh,
in fact,
Seagate, because here's the actual drive when I pulled it out.
No, there
is
you
that
go.
one of the ones? Is that one of the green ones that because they sell the
branded?
No. This was one of
this
the.
one does on the back of the box say. Oh, I say on the front of the box too. It says works at PlayStation. It says Xbox One specifically, and then of course PC.
So I mean, it's I don't know.
It works on devices that have USBs
really well for a while on my Xbox One, and then
I've had a Seagate 3 terabyte for probably 4 or 5 years. Thing is still working. So yeah, I just can't. I don't. Well, maybe I can't now. I just can't stomach $200, $200 plus. It's just. Ugh.
Well, so I did get it for cheaper than that because like Newegg and Best Buy had it on sale. I think it was like $189 or something, and then there was credit and all that stuff.
Yeah, it helped that mine was a Christmas gift.
Yeah, Mike got it for Christmas.
It does help.
So
yeah.
So, but anyway, I got that, and I've been downloading stuff. The one thing, and I think both consoles are real guilty of this. So I started downloading stuff before I picked it up, and then I plugged it in. And everything that was in the queue, every time it would start down, it's like, where do you want me to download this to?
Yes. True,
why don't you just fill in the space? Like, I don't understand.
It would be nice if it's like you remember in Final Fantasy 1 where you'd say attack this like chimera or something, and then someone else would kill it, and then the next person would be like, I'm still going to continue to try to stab this thing
the dead
that's
space.
not there. Instead of when they finally got to Final Fantasy 4, if not earlier. When they're just like, yeah, just move on to the next thing and stab that instead.
Right. Like you should be smart enough to be able to handle it.
So it's
like we had this figured out in 1992, at least.
So it kind of sounds like this is an issue of. Was it a dashboard? Was it like an OS?
Yeah, it's an Xbox OS.
And this is probably a very specific. Like I had started these, queued them up, and then plugged in the drive.
It's still the same thing. Like you set one, just like the Xbox One, you set one of them. Whatever your default is, and then when it's full, it'll be like, you don't have room. What do you want me to do about that?
Oh, do you want to free up space or
or pick a different drive?
Right. So I mean, I saw that on the PlayStation. I'll be honest, I think the Switch was like that for a while. That if you plugged a SD card in, you could not use the internal storage anymore.
Yeah.
Like what was there was fine, but it would not write to the internal storage.
Can I ask a silly question? Can you can plug in an external drive to the Switch and just load it up with games?
Yeah.
Can you?
To the USB?
I didn't think you could.
No, I was thinking more of the external or the SSD or the SD card.
I have not done it myself, but I thought that worked.
I have a 5.
I'd have to check.
I have a 512, I think, in my.
I mean, personally, I don't care because I have like a 64 gig card and I'm not even close to filling it because I don't buy digital games.
I fill up that thing. I gotta clean the fridge.
I don't buy many digital
regularly.
games, I should say.
I just updated to a 512 gig card in my Switch.
All the vast majority of my games are physical cards, for which I just ordered 2 more yesterday because I found out that Cotton Reboot is available now.
Physically?
Physically from a more reasonable place than the other side of the world.
I just ordered Animal Crossing for the youngest. Although my wife was like, "Well, does she have a Switch?" I was like, "Well, no." She's gonna play it on yours. I was like,
"No,
not yet."
I'm hoping like the idea is to get even though I know it's not.
I'm getting the OLED.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one too, and just whatever. So, that's fine.
My old Switch is going to my nephew's, and I'm gonna have the new Switch.
And when she's not using it, I'll just hack it and put crap on it, and then use it. Whatever.
I mean, I just bought a third Switch dock, so I can essentially have a Switch dock on each floor of the house now.
That would be a solution too.
That is very convenient.
Another dock.
It really is kind of
the
nice.
refurbished ones from Nintendo. You can get the Animal Crossing one for $40 right now.
$40 for the dock.
And you have to look at Animal Crossing stuff though.
I mean, it's just the Animal Crossing on the outside.
That's what I mean. You have to look at it.
It was also $20 for another AC adapter from Nintendo if you wanted it.
Does the dock come?
Wait a
with
minute,
the
it doesn't
AC
come
adapter?
with the AC adapter?
The dock does not come with an AC adapter by default.
Come on,
mine did.
Come on,
well, you can buy it. They have a set that comes together, but you can also buy a dock just by itself.
I got a not refurbished but brand new Nintendo dock from some kind of a sale a few years ago, and it came with the AC adapter. It was the full package minus the Switch itself and the Joy-Cons. So that's kind of what it is. I have my dock set up on my main game TV, and then in my travel bag, I've got my dock and my charger, so I don't ever have to unhook anything if I ever go anywhere, which I don't do anymore.
Gotcha. So I have,
and then one day the pandemic will be over and the Switch will be obsolete.
And then you'd be like, I wish I got that OLED one.
Oh man.
Or just the new Switch that'll come out next year.
I'll be rocking my OLED Vita instead.
So, well, actually, so you know what? That's a great segue. I jailbroke both my Vita and my 3DS over the break.
Oh, you finally did it, huh?
I finally did it. Mostly because you can install like Grand Theft Autos and Bully and what else was I like? Most of the Rockstar games that are on PC you can put onto your Vita, and it plays relatively well.
So when you say relatively, wild guess on the frame rate?
Well, so like you have to, because it's the PC install essentially, so you have to fiddle with like the settings, like, oh, hey, turn off dynamic resolution scaling so that it's not futzing with it in the background. But like, I'd say 30 frames a second to play. I was playing GTA
Which is,
3.
You're not going to get better than that on, say, PS2.
Right. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. This was fine. And like, again, since it has all the PC settings, you can play with them. So it was real interesting. Like you can do that. You can do Bully. There's rumors that the Knights of the Old Republic, the BioWare games someone is working on right now. So yeah. And then, I mean, my 3DS, I backed up all my games to it. So I'm trying to get the DS part to work.
The Steam Deck comes out, and that makes that entire thing completely pointless.
It was something to do. I owned most of the equipment. Like I got one of those SD to Vita converters.
I need to
and that was $6. So, and then so yeah, we talked about that. Oh, we did GameSwap.
We did. It was
GameEnthus attended GameSwap again.
Well, so GameSwap is the sides. It's Too Many Games Gaiden, so to speak.
Gosh.
It is the grassroots, I guess, version. That what they claim is how Too Many Games originally started, which was a bunch of people, basically a flea market devoted specifically to what we'll now call retro games, but physical games.
Physical.
Aaron and I went to one of the
went to the old one.
Oh man, you guys narrowly missed your invitation to the Global Nightfire Championship.
The first, Too Many Games. It was almost all vendors
in Reading, Pennsylvania.
They had very little they had like chairs set up in a corner for someone to talk about stuff. So.
Yes, I can't even tell you. I feel like even now they're just barely. I mean, okay, maybe the last 5 years or so that they're really trying to do a little bit more than just vendors. Wrestling, but like they had the arcade. Yes, they've added the arcade, which is cool. It's getting better each time. Or at least, pre-pandemic anyway.
But yeah, I mean, so we went to GameSwap and we had a booth and. It was Mike and I attended, our friend Ben attended, and then Aaron had stuff and was attending in spirit. We did pretty.
To the house.
We did pretty well.
You all did.
We unloaded some unneeded old games.
Like 10K.
A full box of stadium events.
Oh yes, like we literally just did one of those deals where they're like, "Oh, you think this stuff is valuable? Here's an entire unopened box of new old stock
Here's a
that just
kale flying
valued all of these." Like, I just found a pallet of sticker sealed Mario Brothers. Like, nah, that whole thing is crazy.
Man, I got so many texts about that stupid Mario.
It's like, didn't you have Super Mario Brothers?
Did you check your basement? Do you own this? I'm like, yeah, I own it.
Yet? Like, no.
Go get rich, dude. Copies. Go get rich.
Anyway, yeah. But it
was good. And I have stuff that I wish I was very happy with how it turned out, but there's still stuff that I have from that I brought that I would still happily sell today. And I'm sure by the time it happens again, I will have additional items that will also be happy to be parting with, because
Most definitely.
I certainly would like to still have a collection, but I don't need to have all the stuff that I have.
Understood. Yeah, no, I think it went super well. We were very happy to see everyone and talk to people.
And the whoever
stuff.
pulled the fire alarm, screw off. But in spite of that, it turned out just fine.
Yep. Yeah, the show went well. So, yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll mention is, hey, I went on a family vacation with my family to the Poconos. And this is the first time I had taken a non-volunteering vacation in like 15 years, I think was what I was looking at. So, I was up in the Poconos, and it was fun. Like, went to the pool every day and all that kind of stuff.
Did you get in any champagne glass hot tubs?
No, weirdly not. I did go to a couple game stores and pick up
in
nice.
the Poconos.
In the Poconos, and
nice.
picked up some N64 games.
Okay.
To continue working on that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Odyssey 2 and 2600 games, because everything from that area is from the 70s.
I was going to say Fairchild F, but whatever.
I'll be honest. There was weird, like, this store had a lot of weird import games, but like not weird as in like, oh, different cultural sensitivities or whatever. Like, here's a Forsaken from someplace that is primarily Spanish speaking for the N64. Because like it had a different the local ratings board on it, different cover picture, and I'm like, what is this? And why did it get to Pennsylvania? Like,
do you have any idea what country?
So Spanish speaking, and I think I want to say it was the Spanish rating board, but I was looking, I'm like, I don't know what this Forsaken. Is this a pirate? A bad pirated version of?
Are you talking about Forsaken 64?
Yes.
Wow.
So
I mean, I wouldn't buy that game for any region.
That game was okay. Not the N64 version, but I have the PC version of that game, and I also own the N64 version, but that's because
it's N64,
right? But no.
Look, I own plenty of games that I own just because they're for the system that they're for. Right. Not that they're games that I would want to own, most of which are for the TurboGrafx. But I said it before. I do not have a lot of fondness for the vast majority of N64 games.
It's amazing that we're still friends, man. Because I take that personally. Even though I shouldn't.
Give me a one game recommendation that you say, okay, I bet, having never played it before in your entire life, in 2021, this N64 game you will enjoy.
That's not a wrestling game?
It can be. If you say you think it would hold up today as a game you have no nostalgia for.
Well, see, that's my problem. Because I want to say Super Mario 64 is still a revolutionary game.
Well, both Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, I mean... And the Aki-developed wrestling games are still great. Resident Evil 2 is worth playing on there.
No, because I would play that on PlayStation instead. But
it looks better on N64.
Well, actually, I would just play the remake version that's available now on other systems.
Says For Vomit 64 was fun.
For Vomit?
For Vomit, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Iggy's Wrecking Ball? It's a very unique racing game. Mario Kart is great. Diddy Kong Racing.
I did enjoy Diddy Kong. I will say
Rob
that.
likes
back in the day.
Diddy Kong Racing. Rob,
but again, those are games. So the Mario 64, Diddy Kong Racing, so on and so on, games of that nature. If I played them at the time, I have that nostalgia, and I'm like, yeah, I remember this game. This is fun, whatever.
So what are we?
The problem is N64 games are like, yes, some of them have a higher resolution than PlayStation 1 counterparts, but they all look kind of muddy. They sound muddy.
It's the nostalgia that
controller sucks.
Well, I have 4 of the newer ones.
Right, I can give you alternative.
Oh, the fighting thing?
Yeah, I have 2 of those and then 2 of the 3 knockoff.
That helps. I grabbed one of those for the Dreamcast, but I haven't tried it out yet. I after I bought it, I read the reviews that are
I have the red one
it's
too,
bad.
and then the aqua one.
was kind
But
of
like,
Why are you
apparently
blowing your background, by the way? Like, it's, like,
I don't know.
You don't want us to see something?
I've had it. I mean, it's just a mess behind me, really.
Oh.
Like it's yeah.
Do you think this is organized? Do you think these are in alphabetical order? Like, what do you think this is?
Oh, we assume so.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, also because when I use it for work or for, like, I met with my hospital rep for Extra Life, and so I just had everything blurred.
I did a safety panel for like 4 days with this exact view. I'm sure somebody actually asked me, "What are all those boxes?" I was like, "Oh, they're board games." They were like, "They are? There's that many board games?" I was like, "Yes."
In the
let
world?
me tell you about it.
I say about 5,000 to 6,000 come out every year.
So, but I mean,
we're incredulous. I'm sorry,
Mike. It's just tough to recommend for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
if you're gonna discount the smearing and the blurriness and stuff, then you just missed the whole.
well, like I tried Beetle Adventure Racing for the first time in my life this year, and I was like, you know what? That game's not horrible.
It's a fun game, finding the short.
But that was as far as I got, and I was just like, oh, right. You needed to buy physical memory cards for a lot of third-party N64 games.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where my third-party, the only one I ever bought was, because most of the games that I bought were Nintendo games that had internal storage, and you didn't need to do that. I will send you
a memory card if you want one.
I can go get a memory card. I'm not worried about that. I don't.
Will it have my fingerprints on it? I mean, that's the real
okay.
value.
Oh, that increases the value. I can sell it for a higher price on GameSwap.
Or maybe
I'm going to put a
less.
sticker on it that says "has Indifference's fingerprints on it," yeah. And then someone's going to pick that up.
His identity,
and they're going to look at me and they're saying to say, "What does this mean?"
And why should I care?
And I'll say, "You can become someone else."
So that'll be okay, because the other two games. So I picked up, I think, 4 N64 games up in the Poconos. I also picked up Mad Maestro, because like it was $3
for
the
PS2. I have
that.
And
I'm like, I thought that game would be more expensive. And I'm like, oh, I'll play around with that. And then Rock Revolution on the DS was $2. And I was at that game's launch party. I'll sign it. I think my name's in the credits somewhere.
See, I have this funny feeling that if you brought that to GameSwap and somebody walked up to you and said, "Can I have this for free?" you would just say yes.
Maybe, possibly. there were several times Mike gave me a side, like, I don't know.
That's a tiny. Stop giving away your games. You're making it harder for me to sell my stuff.
It might not work. It doesn't have a label. You should take that Minish Cap.
Yeah, here, this $400 GBA title. I don't know if you swear that it's. Well, I'm sorry. $300. Mine was labeled at $300.
Yours
and I walked
was in
with
box.
It was complete and genuine. Yours
Mine
was
had
like,
some
I don't know,
kinks.
it might be genuine.
Tiny's holding a cartridge currently on fire. Like, you know what? You can just have this.
I mean, it wasn't
this for free.
There was there was one cartridge, and I had gotten it from a Too Many Games. Like, a dog had bitten into a Simpsons hit and run for Game Boy Advance. It still worked. Like, I have played that game.
But his brains were
But it was
exposed.
like,
why did
I
the
think I got
dog
it-
bite into the?
I have no idea, but
Also,
I got
by
it
the
for
way,
$1.
it's amazing that game works as well as it does.
Oh, that
It's a
Simpsons
technical
hit and
marvel.
run on the GBA is
Is
again mastery. But like, I had it, I played through it. Someone's like, "Hey, do you know if this works?" I'm like, "It does." I'm like, "If you buy something else, you could have it for free." Because I got it for $1.
Yeah, but when Mike's over there trying to sell, like, a lock of Shigeru Miyamoto's
Mike
hair
did
for
fine.
$500.
Oh, I did do fine. Although
Mike,
I
we all-
kind of, if I could replay the day, there was at least one choice I would have made differently. But that's okay.
We all did well. Like,
We did fine. Everything was fine.
It was a good day. I was happy to hang out with everyone.
I sold that copy.
We're all
you
fine.
sold
We're
that copy
fine
of
here.
Death Smile sealed for the
yes.
360, so I was happy.
You
got
sold
that.
in spirit.
I got that for $8. I got 2 copies from Walmart for $8.
Well,
Excellent.
I mean, I sold that sealed Mega Man 64 for $500.
Yeah, which
And I got that from a CAG deal for like $30.
see
10
that's how
years
it
ago
goes.
or whatever.
Aaron, I will offer you $9 for a sealed copy of Death Smiles.
No.
Exactly.
I still have
$9.25.
the face plate thing. It's open, but I mean, it has a soundtrack.
Yeah, I don't want that. Even if you told me it was worth $1,000,
I don't want that jar.
If it was worth
garbage in my
$1,000, I still
house.
don't want it. Get it out.
I don't want it. Yeah, faceplates. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna hang it on the wall and be like, why is there a strange shaped thing on your wall? And be like, well,
duct tape it to the front of your Series X like a normal.
That's
person.
what it is. And the discs kind of make it through that opening. Anyway,
you know what? That should be the cover art for this episode. The death smile. I'm gonna do that.
All right, go for it.
Good stuff.
And then you're gonna get a copyright claim
Probably.
on the imagery
on the duct tape.
On the duct, yes, duck brand duct tape.
So while Aaron is thinking about that cover art, Mike, what have you been playing?
So as far as like I mentioned before, I've not had a ton of time. Not to say I haven't played anything, but obviously there's plenty of things that I've wanted to play and it just never worked out. But did go on a recent trip and I wanted to have something to play really on the flight and it worked out okay for that. But this more or less coincided with what I still thought, but apparently really wasn't, Sony officially closing the PSP store. So after the deadline crossed, on my Vita, I was still able to purchase PSP titles that run on the Vita. So
yes, that is still going to be up.
And theoretically the PSP.
Well, so because you can still buy PSP titles, there's just not a storefront on the PSP to access. You could do it on PS3 or Vita until those stores close. So
you're saying that $100-something I spent on that PSP Go like 2 years ago was not money well spent?
I mean, I think I could have told you that too. There are people that like that form factor. It is not a form factor for me.
It is quite small.
Oh, just jailbreak it and play all the PS.
But it's not comfortable.
Hey,
like I'll be honest, even the Vita is not that comfortable without getting like the hand grips on it.
Whoa. No, I don't think the Vita is comfortable at all. But in short bursts, it's fine.
The DS is the DS is the same way.
There's no such thing as a comfortable handheld.
I will say
the original DS,
the
3DS XL,
the Switch with the monster.
The original DS.
Yeah.
The prototype looking one,
like the gray one.
Yeah.
That wasn't comfortable.
Okay, fine. The original.
I was a college
Game Boy
kid, so
Advance.
Yes, the original GBA is actually more comfortable than the GBA SP.
I didn't get it until the SP came out.
SP's cool, but I tell you, Tiny, your mods on that original GBA is that's some hot stuff.
Yeah, I should get you a GBA modded like that.
I like that.
Screen, you can put a rechargeable battery in it.
Yeah, you can turn that thing into what it should have been on day one.
Right.
You can see Castlevania.
You can see. Oh my god! When I got my Game Boy player for the GameCube and I plugged Circle of the Moon in there, I was just like, oh.
So this is what this looks like.
I didn't know there was detail on anything in this game. I did not play through the
individual back of kneecaps in the Legion boss when you're fighting it for the 18 billion time.
Then the other, so actually what you should do, if next game swap, bring your GBA disc with you, sell that for $200. And then
the Game Boy player. I mean,
and then just use Swiss on your actual Game Boy player.
At some points, depending on what things I acquire going forward, I may not have any need for the Game Boy player pretty soon. So
because of the
that sounds pretty drastic. What are we talking about?
Because of the Pocket.
Well, the Game Boy Pocket. I mean the analog Pocket, and I mean there's all those things you can get, the consoleized. I don't really need.
You don't need it to be portable.
Well, and I've got my GBA SP. Like I've got options. Like I've got a lot of options. I don't think I need to play Game Boy games with a GameCube controller.
What about a Hori?
What about
If I had bought it.
You know what? That did not sell at GameStop this time.
Well,
how much were you charging for it?
Market price.
Box. Yeah, probably around market. I did everything and then I took 10% off everything, assuming like that's Amazon shipping. So or eBay shipping. So
It's a hot controller,
I mean,
but
we
I would
also
not pay
sold
that much
through
for it.
7 or 8 Wavebirds between me and
It's
Ben.
true. Wavebirds are hot. I only have one, so I need to keep it.
I have one, so I'm not giving that up.
So like, but,
Which actually reminds me, I should probably, as soon as the show is over, double check that I didn't leave batteries in my Wavebird that I haven't turned on in years.
good thing to check.
Ooh, mine is actually, if you look in the back in front of the Mario Brothers cereal box, there's a Wavebird in front of it. I should check the batteries tonight.
Mario Brothers cereal box.
Yeah. Look in the back.
It's on top of the Pit Boy. So
right shoulder.
Oh.
You know what's sad about that? When I opened the box up to unpack it, I used a pair of scissors or a box cutter. Cut a little too deep and put like a gash on the Mario cereal box. It's like,
oops.
dang it.
That's okay. Keep the RFID. I think is in my Switch case.
So I bought 2 boxes of that cereal.
Yep.
And I cut out the one, I stuck it in the Mario Odyssey box. And the other box will remain sealed until it is worth many millions of dollars or ants
till the
take
rats.
care of.
I was going to say till the rats.
With like a
rats
rat in it, because like I said, I just got a little
devalued, man. VGA or what's it called? Waiki or something?
WADA
rated 0, absolute 0.
You can see Ryu back there too, next to an Atari
In fact,
controller.
Yes.
Oh yes, you're right. I see all that.
Boy.
It's all very blurry, but
it is blurry. I can see it. Plus, I know what I'm looking at. So
yes.
We got to fix that Virtual Boy. So,
so anyway,
this one is not getting fixed.
What you were playing? Because
oh my god, I can't believe this is where this went. But so, talking about buying PSP games, what I was playing was not a PSP game at all. But because of GameSwap, I wound up selling pretty much all of my physical Ease titles. So my I know, but I had sealed copies of E7 and Oath and Felghana, the special editions, and they were worth enough that I was like, I can't not let these go. And my Ease Book 1 and 2, and Memories of Salsetta, which was a special edition. So anyway, I sold all of it, and I'm just like, you know what? I can buy all of this digitally for a fraction of what I sold one of those for, and still have the ability to play all of it. So I wound up buying basically every Ease game available on the Vita, which is Ease Book 1 and 2, E7, Oath and Felghana, and Ease Origin, which is actually a Vita title. Memories of Salsetta, I think I just said, well, maybe some other day I'll get it, because I already have it on Steam anyway, and PS4. And
at what point did you know you like just playing a game where you just hold your sword out in front of you and run into things repeatedly? At what point did you realize that was fun?
Only Ease Book 1 and 2.
Oh.
All of the rest of them have action-based combat.
That makes sense why you like
button
it.
press.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I mean, the big thing with Ease 1 and 2 is the presentation of it. The story is fine. The combat is subpar, but the music is unbelievable, and the cutscenes in the CD versions, like the TurboGrafx version, it's just amazing. Anyway, so I actually put a decent amount of time into Ease Origin for the first time ever. Because I'd heard it's kind of like, it's sort of a mediocre game. It's sort of like the entire game takes place in Darm Tower. It's like you're not wandering any fields or anything. It's all action or whatever. And I was like, it sounds kind of lame, whatever. And it's pretty old. It's from like 2004 or 6 or something like that. The original version. But playing the game, like you pick your choice of 1 or 2 characters. One's a guy, one's a lady. And I don't remember either one's name. I don't think it matters all that much. But there's a lot of talking in the game. And it's better than I would have guessed. Even though it's too much, it does a pretty good job of giving I picked the lady character, and she has a real personality. Like they do a good job of like with how she talks, how she interacts with people, and sort of the inner monologue, like text boxes, to be like, okay, I get, I'm getting a sense of this character. This isn't just I'm here to murder weird beasts. I will. It's not bad at all. I don't know how far I've gotten through the game. I've put about 3 or maybe 4 hours into it, and yeah, it's fun, and it plays very well. The load times are not bad at all for a Vita title. Yeah, I think I'm going to get through that, and at that point, I'd be real tempted to play through Ys Book 1 and 2 again, but I might not because that's a lot of time. I might just skip to Oath and Felghana, which is a remake of Ys 3. But who knows? I'm just hoping I get through Ys Origin and then have a final say on that. But yeah, so far it's better than I thought. I had a undeserved negative impression of it from other people's comments that I'd read over the years.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But that's kind of it. I mean, other than stuff that's not worth mentioning. So, Aaron, you've got like a little box and another little box.
A box inside that box. I'll split it up. So I'll do the digital stuff, and the other tiny, I'll just run through some of the analog stuff. So I did check out that Space Jam game that's free on. Is it free on everything or just Xbox?
It's just Xbox. It's Game Pass.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the movie yet. I did enjoy the original. I've heard a lot of mixed things about it. I'm gonna watch it at some point, but the game, I mean, it's okay. It's the pixel art is decent.
Okay.
It's interesting when LeBron first does. Well, I picked LeBron. You pick LeBron, or was it Lola or Bugs? I believe
Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
Yep.
So
that is something I also tried for a very brief amount of time.
I mean, it's like level 3, I think.
You played more than I did.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
I think I played one level. I think
it's bare bones. But the thing about LeBron is like, you always throw the basketball as your first move. So it becomes kind of slow because before you punch, you throw the basketball and then you start doing like punch combos, which there's really it's like one combo. It's not a whole lot. And you can like call in by default, like, what's the old grandmother's character name from?
I think it's just Old Granny.
Old Granny.
Maybe Granny or
Taz and Roadrunner. But then like I unlocked Yosemite Sam, and I know there's like 4 or 5 other characters. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. I kind of see why it was free. But I also thought like the things I've heard about the movie, I thought, did they resolve the problem in the movie by punching stuff in the face? I thought they played basketball. But, you know what I mean? Like, I could be crazy, but like,
I mean,
maybe they
would call that basketball what they played, but
if they went to the developers and said, how much would it cost to make a basketball game, and they held up a piece of paper with a number on it, and they said, ooh, how much would it cost to make a side-scrolling brawler instead, and the number was a fraction of the original number?
Yep.
I think that's how we got there.
Well, but they also did like an IDARB thing where they opened it up to the community for suggestions, and
I like that.
There was some kind of like community engagement for this game, because it wasn't Other Ocean who made it. Who was
I don't remember.
Sumo. It was Sumo Digital, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Or whoever Sumo Digital. Because what's his name? Drew Scanlon worked on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
hey, as far as free games that are connected to a movie promotion go,
travel.
It's not. It's better than Ben-Hur.
I look at that every time I turn on my Xbox.
Which I played. I got all achievements on that except for one because something was kind of screwy.
Ben-Hur.
And I laughed at that game a lot.
Sure you did.
And it's both of those games are miles ahead of Yaris. Because that game, no matter how many times I kept going back to it, going, it can't be that bad. Let me just try to.
What about Doritos Challenge or whatever?
The first one was a lot of
Crash
fun.
Course is an amazing game.
That was fun. The second one was
terrible. But the Harm's Way Doritos game, I didn't care about that either.
That good. Yeah.
It wasn't horrible.
What about
but
the Sour Patch Kids game?
That was a game.
That was
feature what Method Man?
Yep,
wasn't it?
featuring Method Man. Yep.
Yeah,
that's a game. Yeah.
Was he one of the Sour Patch Kids?
I believe he's who they're terrorizing.
Is he eating the Sour Patch Kids?
There's a music video at one point in, I think maybe the credits, where he shows up in it. But I think he's also the narrator.
That makes sense.
I would have to go back.
I definitely never played that game.
Story checks out.
So I might have played. You know what? I take it back. If it was a live arcade game, that was in the era where I downloaded absolutely every trial. I may have tried the trial.
They would auto download back then.
Yeah,
which
I may have tried the trial.
That's insane. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
The Sour Patch Kids.
But think about, I always thought about like how did the fact that every game had a demo on 360, for many years, not the whole lifetime, but that was a requirement for every game to have a demo for a while.
For every live arcade title.
I just wonder like how did that affect like design? Because you want to like have a decent you want to start your game with something that made people want to continue playing it. But depending on the genre, if it's like an RPG or something like that, it's going to be slow.
But the demo might not have been the beginning. It was just a vertical slice.
Some games were a portion of like a selected portion of the game, and some of them were just here's the game with a timer.
I remember the timer being what was used most frequently.
It's like, oh, you played this game for 5 minutes, and be like, 5 minutes doesn't even get me to the part where I can push A to stab somebody.
You entered half of your name. Are you buying this game or not? Like, wait, what? I don't. Who are you?
I read all about this other world that I didn't care about. And then the trial ended.
Oh, I started playing Ratchet and Clank. A friend of mine let me borrow Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. And it's a beautiful. I'm still playing on a 1080p TV, so I'm sure. I mean, it looks amazing on that. I can't imagine how it looks on a 4K TV. And I understand why I don't keep playing these games. The platforming is great. The shooting is great. I mean, they're beautiful looking games. They have, the wonderful animation. It checks all these boxes. You know what it is? It's customizing my weapon. When I get to a point where I have to pick, all those weapons are so, I don't know what they are. So I never know what to upgrade. So I just stop playing the game. This happens every time.
You get paralysis.
Yep, I get AP. And I'm just like, I don't know what to choose, so I'm not going to. Is that weird? I don't know.
I mean, I borrowed a PS5 for a month from a friend, from our friend Ben. And like I played a good chunk of that game. It was fun. Like, you're right. Like, it looks beautiful. It looks great at 4K, all that stuff.
But I don't really want to keep playing it.
I really enjoyed Astro's Playroom a whole lot more. Playing
great game.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Like I think I almost platinumed Astro's Playroom in that month.
I'm missing one thing.
It is a platinum. It is my second platinum trophy of all time.
I enjoyed the heck out of that game. And like finding all the PlayStation history stuff and all that, and like I thought that game was a lot of fun.
There's still a sense of discovery though that just like even the haptic feedback stuff in the DualSense, it's great, and Ratchet checks all these boxes. And honestly, I was playing it and I had a YouTube video on another screen because I don't really care about the story. I just don't care.
So
2 years from now, it'll be a PS Plus title, and I will look at it one time at that point.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I replayed the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game, or I played through it. The remake, the one that was related to the movie. I like really enjoyed it. I played that in the last year. So, and it was just like, I'm playing this, I'm like, this is fun. Like, I see where, like, what the appeal is, but I think I want to play Astro more.
I don't know what it is about those games. Like, I should love this. It has, you know how much I love platformers, 2D, 3D. I like shooting things. It has all of that. It just loses me, and I don't get it.
It did not grab you.
I don't know what it is. So yeah. I played some AO the Clown on Steam. I think it's on Switch as well. It's a sort of a 2.5D platformer. Very beautiful looking game. You kind of start off first level. You can't jump. So
what does AO stand for?
AYO?
AYO the Clown.
Oh, AYO.
AYO.
Okay.
Sorry.
I heard AO as like adults only clown.
Yes. Those aren't buoys. I don't know. So yeah, it's fun. And the thing is, at first I thought, okay, this is very simple, but you earn the double jump, and you get weapons for some reason. Like you get like a sword or what. I don't know why you have weapons. You don't need them, but you do have weapons.
You're a killer clown,
basically from outer space.
Okay,
I like that movie. It's dumb but fun. Yeah. I played the Back for Blood beta. I thought it was over because I was.
So it just opened up.
Okay, it's opened up again.
Now it's the like open to everyone. You can download the client and play as of today.
Okay, so Yeah,
So.
it's fun. The only thing about it is at first, it has you earning these survivor points or something, or survival points. I was like, and then you can unlock these cards. I don't, anything that I have to like think about multiple currencies and get. If I'm playing a game with cards, then I expect cards. But anytime I see that kind of stuff, I'm like, red flag. But the actual gameplay, I mean, obviously it's Left 4 Dead with some additional things in it. It's pretty sound. Like it's on my radar now. Will I buy it day one? No, but it's fun.
I downloaded it on PC, and I will probably download it on Xbox. I know BC wanted to give it a shot.
I will definitely join you all if at all possible, because it's pretty fun. So I was digging that. What else?
You're not going to talk about Alex Kidd? Like, this is your moment to talk about your bad platforming mascot.
Hey, yeah, I played the Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. It's Alex Kidd. Jonkin, you're doing a rock paper scissors.
Always fun.
So the worst boss fights in the history of video games.
Right.
It's up there. They're not good, but you can't switch between the original graphics and the new graphics. It's pretty fun. It's kind of cool they got a chance to remake that. I probably would have maybe defaulted for Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, which is a really actual good game. Like, I mean, Miracle World is cool, but Shinobi World is considerably better. What else did I play? Super Meat Boy Forever. That I don't think it caught on as much as the original, just because the auto scrolling nature of it, but it's still quite challenging. Let me tell you, it's not easy. What else? That's kind of. Oh, I actually did beat a game since we've been on hiatus. Imagine that, right?
I'm sorry. What?
I beat a game called Stitchy in Tooki Trouble. You're like a scarecrow. It at first glance it looks like a Donkey Kong Country kind of ripoff.
Okay.
You're just collecting like ears of corn. It's a very basic platformer, but it's a mindless thing. Like you could just watch pretty much anything and just play.
Push X to win.
Not quite that easy. Some of the bosses aren't really difficult, but like this a little bit of Jenga.
You have to push to the right as well, Mike.
Oh, sorry. You got to do a quarter circle and then a fireball or dragon punch motion.
But I did actually finish it. It was fun. It's a mindless 2.5D platformer. So if you want something mindless, there you go. Well, I did play the Cotton Reboot, which is the game is insane. I don't even know. It's just stuff all over the screen, and it's blowing up, and it's great.
You both have mentioned this. What is Cotton?
Side-scrolling cute 'em up. I guess.
It's a shooter, a witch riding a broom. It was an arcade game. It came out for the Sharp X68000. There was a Turbo Duo / PC Engine Super CD version. There were at least 2 games on the Saturn, and I think one on the Dreamcast in Japan. It's a shooter series, but this is a remake of the original one, which was good. The other ones, the 3D ones, as far as I'm concerned, no interest.
I see.
It's pretty cool. Like, I played the arcade version first. I actually did a Let's Play of it. I haven't put it up yet. I should do that.
Yeah, because it comes with, right? When you buy
and then I played the X68000 version afterwards and was like, I should have played them in the other order because it was tough to go back. Like, the bosses were like challenging on the arcade version because they were throwing all types of crap at you on the X68000.
Because they want another quarter.
It was like,
right.
Is that one projectile? Is that 2? Okay, let me dodge that real quick. Okay, you're dead. So, but I mean, it's the same game, but scaled down considerably. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then Cannon Brawl, Mike, you might like this one. It's sort of, how can I describe it? Like, it's a game where like 2 teams opposite sides. You want to build weapons and then plant them on your side, and then it has a
like
worm.
Scorched Earth.
I don't think I've played that.
Like Worms.
It's kind of like Worms, except like you're planning some things to like earn the money to keep.
So there's an economy part to
yes.
this.
You have to like have something to earn the money, so you can keep either upgrading what you already have or destroy things and build new ones. As you slowly make your way to the side of the screen to destroy like your enemy's fortress. Very fun. I really enjoyed that one. It's on the Switch. I think it's been out on PC forever, but it came to the Switch probably a couple of months ago. So I'm late. So
okay, well, I'll at least Google it.
As well, you should. Johnny, what have you been playing?
We'll go through this real quick. Hey, the Mass Effect trilogy came out while we were on hiatus, and I played through all 3 Mass Effect games.
Does 3 end the best?
Well, so like, I don't have the clearest memory of the hullabaloo that was around the endings. I picked a different ending than I remember picking in the past this time. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, oh, Shepard should be in charge of the big deadly robots to save all of humanity. Usually I pick like the everyone becomes half human, half cyborg solution.
But everybody wanted all along.
But like the thing they kind of talk about is they like also all of the interstellar travel kind of gets destroyed. So like, hey, wherever you're at in the galaxy, kind of where you're going to be stuck for a while. And in the ending now, it's like, she took over control of the big deadly robots and like took them away, and life continued. So like she made the sacrifice for everyone else to be able to, do their thing, which I was good with. But this is also my first playthrough where Tally died, and I was very sad about that. And G Nitro will also say that because that's an unacceptable death. But so man. The remakes, I played all of that on Xbox One. I really enjoyed that. It was great. I loved going back to all 3 of those games.
When does it come into EA, whatever, All Access? Or...
I assume at the end of the year, I would guess.
Okay.
So,
is that how it works? Like, is it a 6-month thing, or how does?
I know I believe with the sports games, it's a 6-month thing.
Okay.
So, but you also get like a 10-hour demo with most stuff, so it might be able to start it now, and I'd have to go check. I haven't looked.
For the first Mass Effect, is the Mako stuff still in there?
They improved the Mako controls, as they put it, and you can toggle them on or off if you want.
Okay.
It was fine. Like I went through and I 100%ed the first one. I think I 100%ed the second one.
I think the only thing I ever found frustrating about the Mako was how sluggish it felt climbing mountains, but I didn't mind driving it around.
It's just different because then you get the Hammerhead in the second one, which is the floaty one. Like it's a grav tank instead of you having to try to use the propulsion jets on the Mako. It wasn't that bad. I like I said, I just played through it in the last like 2 months. I enjoyed those games. Now, granted, I played through both Mass Effect 1 and 2 on stream probably 3 or 4 years ago now, so I was already a fan. So like, maybe not the most objective opinion.
So you knew you liked it, and it was the same game,
just prettier. And
I mean, the big thing is like you didn't encounter any like horrible game crashing.
The weird, no game crashes. The weirdest thing I got, and this was only in Mass Effect 1. Sometimes my perspective will get stuck. That like I would be moving sideways because I couldn't move the view camera, but like my character could still move, and I would have to go through a door or something to essentially break that out. That happened twice in, I don't know, 80 hours of gameplay that I probably did across those 3. So I wasn't too worried about it. And I was playing at launch, so they probably already fixed it anyway. But the one thing I know they also fixed is I brought over millions of credits from Mass Effect 1 to 2. And I did not remember, like I could afford everything day 1 in Mass Effect 2, and that was wonderful. And I believe they have changed that you don't get to bring over as much money.
Oh.
So it kind of broke the game. Like anyway. Hey, did you know there was new DLC for Pokemon Snap? Because I did.
There's a Pokemon Snap?
Is it free DLC?
It was free DLC. It is free
kind
DLC.
Of DLC.
It adds 3 new tracks to the new Pokemon Snap. One where you go like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you get shrunk and you go through and you see the Pokemon from a different perspective.
You said 3. Is that like doubling the size of the game, or?
No, there were, I think, 10 or 15 tracks. Well, so all tracks, almost all of them have a day and a night version, and then so there are different Pokemon and whatnot based on what time of day. So there are 3 new tracks. All 3 of them have a day or night variant that you get to pick when you go on them. So, but one is you get miniaturized. Another one is a desert volcano level and the third one is another like water park, which is a reference to one of the ones from the original Pokemon Snap. And me and my nephews enjoyed it. Came out last week. I played it while I was on vacation. That game's great. I like if you like Pokemon Snap, you should be playing the new Pokemon Snap on Switch. Like it is a wonderful game.
Is it better than the original?
Yes, from a content and playability perspective, I will probably never speedrun this because there are like, I don't know, 6 times the amount of Pokemon or whatever in this game versus what's in the first. I can finish the first one in less than an hour. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that for this. So,
not with that attitude, you won't.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've been missing for 6 months or better.
So new Pokemon Snap. I also picked up Game Builder Garage, which I don't know if you want a fun little like game creation suite on the Switch. It's $30. It'll walk you through how to create different types of games and whatnot.
Have you made any games for us to download yet?
That's the real question.
I mean, I can send you. I mean, you'd have to own it, but I can send you.
That's a deal breaker. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I can send you links to like my bad off-road ripoff.
Or Iron Man Stewart's bad off-road.
Like if I built it and like sunk cylinders into the ground, so there are jumps, and if you fall into the center, your car explodes because that's a non-player area.
Does it come with infinity spinning steering wheels?
No, it does not. So I know, real deal breaker.
This game would have had, I don't know, any traction, and they called it like Mario's Game Garage or something like just.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't slap the Mario.
They wanted just to sell actual copies because no one talks about this. It like came out and
they should have just called it Dreams.
Nobody would even know, really. They were like, what?
So I'm having fun with it. I go back. I meant to introduce it to my nephews, and then we didn't play that many games while we were on vacation. So, but I would have liked to see what like a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old would have thought of this. And then the other things, I'm playing through 2 series. One I already played through, but I restarted Dead Space, kind of because of the announcement, and then also it's like the 10. No, it's got to be more than 15-year anniversary of Dead Space, something like that.
It's more than 10.
Yeah. So I started that, and I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna play through these. And they are whatever the boosted frame rate and 4K on the series on the Xbox Series. So
I've never played Dead Space.
Really? Wow.
I own them all.
I beat the first 2, and then 3 I bounced off of pretty quickly.
That's the thing. I would like to find a co-op partner for 3. So because
platform?
I mean, I think I own it on at least PC and Xbox.
Hey,
I do probably have it on Origin. Now it's
I know I have it on Origin. I don't have 2 on Origin for some reason. I don't know why. Just 1 and 3.
Like right now, I'm most of the way through the first one, and it's a real great game, and it looks great on the Xbox. Like I know, I was trying to remember because it was weird. I started playing, and I'm like, wait, don't I have the first Dead Space had an exclusive console suit for each console, one for the PS3 and one for Xbox. I'm like, didn't I download? Because I bought this game at launch or whatever. And then like the first achievement popped, and I'm like, oh wait, did I play this on PS3? And it 100% turns out I played it on PS3. Because I think that was the lead platform. So I don't have the like super Xbox suit, which I guess is fine. I could go give them $1.49 if I really wanted. So
I can't imagine myself ever really playing PS3 again.
There are tons of games stuck on your PS3 that are
except for 3D Dot Heroes. I don't even know why.
I mean, it might take a while, but like I am way past the moment of any console that I've ever really looked upon fondly to say I will never play this again. The only ones I can legitimately assume I will never play again are the Jaguar, because that system is garbage, and and then probably other stuff that I just didn't own. Like
I have my PS3 hooked up. That was another. I
was playing a game on PS3 this week. It was a PS1 game, but I was playing it on a PS3.
I have 2 PS3s, but they're like boxed up because I feel like most stuff I want to play from that generation was also on 360.
Well, like during
especially Metal Gear 4.
during the lockdown times, I played through all 3 of the Resistance games on PS3.
Well, that's a way to waste time. Sure,
and brown, but they were fun.
So like I played through all those. I played through at least 2 Killzone games. And again, these are games that are only available on that platform.
And then 3D Dot Game Hero. So
and an emulator.
Well, yes, and unless you go down the emulator. But like again, there is no PS4 unless you want to play on PlayStation Cloud, whatever, PS Now. There's no way to
subscriber. No, I'm good.
There's no way to play. You're gonna get comments on that. There's.
Oh, James said
just,
I played my PS3 last week. Just some mindless Diablo 3. That was on that.
It was on PS3.
Yeah, originally. Yeah, the original version. Yeah.
So
I you know what it is? I have a refurbished, like Sony refurbished a 60 gig PS3. Sent it back to me, and
and you're afraid to turn it on.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I guess if I ever did play, I have one of the when they got really cheap. I have that God of War red model.
One of those slip tops though.
Yeah, be afraid to turn that one on too.
No, why?
Because it's probably worth something because there weren't that many of them.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You know what? You just talked me out of it. So
there you go. Never play a PlayStation 3 again.
That's okay. I have
a pink DualShock 3 that I will connect to. I'll connect to a modded PS Vita TV, and I'll play that. Boom.
If you tell me that controller holds a charge, I will mail you $1. I'm sorry. If you can prove to me that controller holds a charge.
Wait, do we just have to prove that a PS3 controller holds a charge?
I can go
his particular pink one.
Okay, I was going to say, because I got a new PS3 controller for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago. It works perfectly fine.
Does it? Because it's got to be new old stock.
At that point, yes, it was probably.
I think I bought 2 new Move controllers in the last ever since I've had PS VR because same issue. You can't easily replace any of that crap.
I have no idea
why
if my Move controllers hold a charge, but I do not own a single DualShock that's open that holds a charge.
Gotcha.
I have a 6-axis that does.
But imagine people who make the argument that they prefer a non-replaceable battery. It's like, why?
But
they're going to die.
But the thing in PlayStation, at least PS4, they're just hooked up via a connector, so you don't have to solder. It's just you still have to open it, but as long as you get a replacement battery, it's just plug it in.
Yeah, but what about this though?
I haven't taken that apart yet, but I think someone said they were soldered on PS or PS5
DualSense. Yeah. Well, at that point, I'll assume they'll never make another controller again, and when mine dies, I'll just go to Best Buy and buy a new one.
Oh, and this is so much better than the Xbox One controller. It's subtle too.
I really like the Series X controller. I still have my Pro controller, my first Pro controller, and it works perfectly fine. I do not have the problems Mike had.
Yeah, I envy you because I have nothing but problems.
That's now up on my Xbox One upstairs, and I use that.
I mean, also for me, it ultimately was the only thing that I was getting out of the Pro controller was the nice rubber grips and the weight. Because I didn't use the paddles.
Nope, not at all.
I rarely ever turned on the restrictors for the triggers. Occasionally, but very
you all keep saying Pro, so I thought.
Sorry, Elite.
I thought you meant the Switch Pro. That's why I held this up. But you all mean the Elite.
The Elite, yeah.
The kids, the Elite's upstairs. They just commandeer. The middle one loves the Elite. That's her preferred controller. So I'm like, okay. So she uses that. Hey. She's been on a big Rayman kick. She is playing. She's trying to we beat Rayman. I forgot to mention that we beat Rayman Legends.
Okay.
And she's going back in and is trying to get every lum in that game. And I respect that.
You have to play the Wii U version because that's the original.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully I'll have a Wii U back. And I would love to play that again on Wii U.
Although you have to have somebody using the gamepad to control Murray, though, right? Is that...
I never played it.
Yes. Well, because on Murray, you actually can draw Murray instead of...
holding down the B button or whatever to make him do stuff.
So,
Rayman is classic fun. Not the first one, though. It's too hard.
Since we started talking about controllers, so I'll mention this real quick. I did do that Joy-Con, like, hey, add a business card or business card size thing into your Joy-Con to put more tension on the back of the joystick to fix drift. And so far, it's working fine. Every time I go back and test it. So you had drift
and now it's gone, or you?
Yes, I had two. Well, before I also modified my Switch. That might have happened during our hiatus time. So I reshelled my Switch into a Super Nintendo Switch.
Can you do mine like that? Because if I send it to you and send you the pieces,
I mean, we can do it. Honestly, 90% of it was trying to get the stupid little ribbon cables to plug back in. I could have done most of this in like half an hour, and it was just dealing with that.
It was worth it.
So that fixed that one because again, it reshelled, so it's already. But I took apart my other original gray Joy-Con, put in. You can see pictures on Instagram. I took part of one of my GameEnthus business cards, chopped that up, and put that in. And yeah, like it. Why? It adds because I wanted to fix this Joy-Con and it was something to do again. So it seems to really work. Like there are multiple reasons for Joy-Con drift, but in this case where it is just the graphite pads were getting loose because of tension, like the bottom of the Joy-Con joystick is only held by tension. There are no screws keeping the assembly together. So as long as you add something to push them back together, it works fine. And there's enough space for it to come apart, which is why in the new Zelda ones, you actually see bigger graphite pads now, which in theory is what their solution to Joy-Con drift is.
Me spending another $80.
Oh, yeah, no, you need to go.
Okay.
Well, you can also send in your Joy-Cons and supposedly they will fix them. But be aware, if you send in anything but a regular set of Joy-Cons, you might not get them back. So like if you send in any limited edition, you might only get a gray or blue or red.
Are they still doing that for Joy-Con?
Yes, my understanding is.
Because I hate Joy-Cons. I'll send all of them.
There you go. Get rid of them that way.
So, but anyway, this was a relatively easy thing to do. 4 screws to get in, and it seemed to work. So, I guess we'll just keep an eye on that. The last thing I'll talk about real quick. One of those, I'm not a real gamer probably. I've never played through the Metroid games, or at least I hadn't played through Metroid games until this last like 2 months.
Not a one?
I played through Metroid Prime in college.
Doesn't count.
I'm talking about 87.
I had not played original Metroid. I mean, I've played them, but I had never beaten original Metroid or Super Metroid
I've started Super
or
Metroid
any of
18
those.
times.
So, Super Metroid is so good.
It is.
So
I never beat it. I don't know why.
And that's the thing. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down and do this. I'm doing it on the Mister. I played through Zero Mission instead of playing through like the NES.
It's a great game too.
That makes sense.
I played through Fusion.
Oh yeah, don't play Metroid 1 today or Metroid 2 on the Game Boy.
No.
Both of those are borderline unplayable.
I played the Samus Returns on 3DS.
Right.
So
that is, and then Zero Mission. Those are nice replacements for old games.
Right. So I played those. So my next Metroid game is to beat is Super Metroid.
And that does not need a remake. That is a great game.
So I'm playing these on the Mister right now. Once I beat that, it's I guess onto Metroid Prime or Pinball. One of
Fusion.
Fusion. I already played through Fusion.
Well, you can do it again.
I played through Fusion in this little in the hiatus we had.
What about Metroid All for One?
Do it again.
What was called? What was that?
Metroid Federation Force, and I mean I own that, so I guess I just need to find some friends to play it with.
You have friends, but not friends that will play that game.
So, I mean, I also have the Triforce Heroes, which I think is the other one.
I have that in the shrink wrap. I got it from Five Below for $5.
I paid probably a lot more than that. So,
but anyway, Below. Do they still exist?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not called like 10 Below now.
I was going to say
they have a $10 set. I'm using a booger, whoever that guy is that plays Fortnite. He has a line of products. I have his mouse pad. That's like
he's the only guy that plays Fortnite.
No, but he's the guy that won the championship or whatever. Right.
So I got this. It's pretty nice. It lights up. It has LED crap in it. And it was $10. It's a nice mouse pad.
LED crap. That sounds like the best.
That's a box quote. Does LED crap? That's
perfect.
But yeah, so I mean, just to talk about the Mister real quick, I also upgraded my Mister, adding the USB hub to it, a real-time clock to it. What else did I put on there?
How much money have
the
you spent on the adding stuff to the Mister? Because I'm curious about it, but then it's like I've done so many of these things.
So the problem is that now, if you were to go buy the base DE Nano, I think it's like twice as much as it was when I purchased it.
What?
Well, so you got to remember, the reason it was so cheap when I did, well, you don't have to remember, but know this. Microsoft was giving them a credit for everyone sold because they were trying to encourage FPGA development.
Oh.
So like the Internet of Things kind of stuff they were doing?
Yeah, it's the same idea. So, and I believe that credit has been reduced. It is not I got it for, I think, sub $100, and I think it's like $160 right now if you want to get a D10 Nano. Well,
that's better than if you said you paid $600 and now it's $1,200.
No, it's still, but then the boards I bought were like $50 to add on the USB hub, and then the analog out that I'm never going to use, but it also had buttons for like resetting it and whatnot, so you don't have to just turn off the power.
It's preferred.
So, and then I'm trying to think. I got a Wi-Fi card for it and whatnot. The real-time clock was like $20, and it's just so that Pokemon works better.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
But no, I think the Mister's great. They've also made it a lot easier. There is one distribution for it that will go and download all the arcade games for you. Like, you don't have to put in any of the work to like go get the archives and then convert them, or it'll do everything for you. I'm like, that's sweet, but I'm not going to lose the save games I already have. So if one day I want to pipe this and do that, it's like the Mister update all script. Like it's a pretty, it makes it pretty painless to enter. But yeah, no, like I said, I played through Fusion and Zero Mission on there. And I did whatever Metroid Returns on the 3DS, so now it's Super Metroid's time. So, but yeah, what about your board games?
Yes, my board game.
What about the kindling?
What'd you say? You said kindling.
What? Kindling, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so I've been doing a bunch of Kickstarter preview videos, so I just put up one for Wicked and Wise for Tesla. She was actually on the show not too long ago. Actually, she mentioned a game that Mike J and his girlfriend picked up. Arch Ravels? Very bright, colorful sewing game. Anyway, not the point. Wicked and Wise is like a spades kind of thing where like one character is a mouse, another one's a dragon. The dragons are playing like a straight trick-taking game, whereas the mice aren't really playing the cards for the numbers, but more for the abilities to like either earn more money or tweak the rules to that trick. It's pretty cool. Like James says Arch Rivals. Arch Rivals is so colorful. I really want that game. But yes, I put that up on the site. What else? Lots filled in. Pretty fun. Rolling right. I hope it was close to being fun. Hopefully it is. It's kind of basic, but you're putting down Tetramino style pieces. You have 2 dice, and one you pick the color, the other one you pick the shape. You fill in your little sheet, and you're trying to hit certain spots of different colors and have the most colors represented on a row to earn more points. Very fun game. Synchronized from Anna Maria Jackson Phelps and Emily, I'm forgetting her last name. It's a game that's about synchronized swimmers. It's a memorization game where you play out a bunch of cards and you're trying to remember a routine, and you flip them all over, and then you're trying to remember all of the different all the different poses and things that were in there. So it was really dope. Put that one up. Turf Wars, another one I did. 2-player game. You're trying to set your lawn up to attract neighbors who are worth like victory points. So you want to have like certain things. You can also place like pests in your opponent's yard to make them lose points, or have to, because basically you have all dirt. You have 3x3 grid of just 9 patches of dirt. The first thing is you have to take your tools and make them into grass, and then you can put like ornaments and decorations and things on your own lawn, and then put pests on your opponent's lawn. It's like a lawn builder. It's really fun. So that got funded pretty quickly. And the kids and I have just been playing. Oh, I hung out with Kyle. We played Terraforming Mars, which he's getting really good at. Yeah, Kyle like plays the same game like more than once, and like it's really good. So yeah, I need to get better. I have it, so I need to start playing solo so I can like remember more of the cards too, so I can get better at it because he's really good at it. I played Divvy.
Mike, I got a question for you real quick.
Yes.
You notice when Aaron plays the same game with anyone else more than once, they seem to get really good at it. His daughters, Kyle,
Perfect Strangers.
I'm just saying. I mean, maybe there's some kind of like real uniting force there.
Yeah, there might be
common factor.
The common right.
Well, I'll say this because like I played Divvy dice with the girls.
You're just a good teacher. That's really.
And it's funny you say that because people will be I feel like people will be less willing to play if you always teach and win. Who wants to play? If people feel like you're going to teach me a game and beat the crap out of me, maybe they don't want to play all the time.
Whoa. Zach Morris, time stop here. Are you saying that you lose intentionally?
No, not at all.
Then it's not. I don't understand this logic here.
Well, when you're teaching, you're playing the game,
right?
But you're also trying to make sure that people understand strategy and different mechanics. So like when they're doing, you might you might make suggestions, maybe try this, maybe try that, and then people do it, and then after a while they don't need suggestions because you've taught them well, and then they just win.
Gotcha.
But then they're smiling and they want to play again, or maybe they want to play something else. Gotcha. Just saying. So.
Is this those who can do kind of a thing?
Don't go down that route.
It's a those who won't. I don't
know. No, I don't think that sentence makes.
No, it doesn't. So. And then what did we play? We played some Dimensions. Very fun game. You have 15 balls, 5 different colors, 3 of each. And you have like a little mat in front of you that can hold up to 11. You put out 6 cards that have rules like the blue ball can't be touching the black ball. You can't have the white ball above the green ball. You can't. You need 2 orange balls, and then but you have to have more orange balls than green balls. So you want to satisfy each requirement. Although some rounds you get things that contradict each other, but you're trying to satisfy each requirement on the card like within a minute. It's such a good game, and it's like 5 or 6 years old. It came in from Cosmos, and we played it. The wife liked it. One thing she didn't like was the contradicting part. When cards contradict each other, she felt like they should have had something in the rule book that said, because in order to get these tokens, like these bonus tokens, you have to meet all the requirements. So if you don't, then you don't get it. Which is, I don't know. It's fun. It's a really good game. So,
gotcha.
Tiny would never. There we go. Here we go. And then the last thing I'll say is I played a game called Reinforcements with Amanda Panda and one of the designers, which is really fun. I think it's like I Declare. It's not an I Declare War, but it's a card game. You're building these like stacks of like red cards, blue cards, or green cards, and once you build a stack, once you have 3 cards of a color, you get to flip them all over, which lets everybody know what number they are, so they can be attacked. But it also unlocks abilities. Like red lets you attack with a red card. Green lets you draw more cards in your turn. Blue lets you put up a 4th card, so to give yourself even more protection for at least that stack. Pretty neat. Amanda, I never heard Amanda curse before, but when I won that middle game,
Well,
wow.
Did you stream this the other? Because I assume this is what you were playing on Zoom the other night. Was it on?
Yes. I recorded it, so it'll probably go up over the weekend or on Monday or something. I did record it. I didn't stream it, but yeah, we had a good time. It was funny to see her because normally she kept saying we don't play, like attack games or like take that. Because normally we play stuff where we're competing, but we're not like going at each. This game, like you just, I'm killing off everything you have, and you're like
So I'm gonna interject a story real quick from the vacation.
Sure.
This is an Uno, let's say, type story, and that statement will make sense in a moment. My nephews wanted to play Jenga.
I've heard of that.
My sister, or my mother brought it. So we started playing it, and they start taking pieces off. A, off the top, and B, not putting them back on.
That's
a way to win.
I'm like, wait, how does this work? And for some reason, all five of us, the five people playing, all on separate teams. Like I'm like, so wait, one person's going to lose and the other four of us are going to win? I'm confused at
if everybody continues down that route, you're all just stalemated.
Like I'm like, guys, this is not how you play games. This is wrong. No, you got to put it on. You can't take the top. You have to.
You got to train your dog to take one of those pieces from the middle and put it on top.
So they also would like go back and correct if the tower was leaning. Now, granted, my nephews are 7 and 4.
Like taking a giant stack of papers and standing them upright and slapping them on your desk, top, left, whatever, back and forth until everything's nice and neat again.
Pretty much. Or my favorite, they just kicked the table that it was on randomly.
Oh, well, that's earthquake.
Right. So anyway, yes, I was just thinking about that because there was much like if you ever go and play Uno with someone else and they have some weird ass house rules.
In our house, a draw 4 is actually just you lose the game.
With another set of niece and nephew, we played Uno, and I started doing like, yo, you can put down multiple cards on top of each other as long as they are the same number. Like you can do like build combos that way, and they're like, that's not how it is. I'm like, I've never played Uno how it says it is in the instruction.
Yeah, the kids always try to add
for
that kind of stuff in there.
Like what you can't put a draw. If you put down a draw 2, I should be able to put another draw 2 down, and that guy gets 4.
We often play that way because it makes it more interesting.
Right,
spicy Uno.
Apparently, that's not what the rule book says.
Well, house ruling is a thing. You just make it up as you go along. So,
but anyway, I interrupted. But
no, you didn't. I'm done. We are moving along. We can actually just wrap up. I mean, we could mention that Rockstar is apparently supposed to be porting some of their older GTA games, which they could have printed that money a long time ago. But here we are.
Well, but they're gonna. The cooler thing is that supposedly one of the ports is for Switch. So
I thought they all were going to be on the Switch.
Well, they are, but like it's also going to be supposedly on Xbox and PlayStation as well.
I saw Stadia too. Apparently not.
And Stadia, yeah.
Up yet, but yeah.
So
I was hoping you were going to say it's going to be on the Vita and therefore completely removing.
Just to validate why I act like
it. Or you could just pay Rockstar $5 and
no one's bringing out stuff on the Vita.
Of course not. Not sane people anyway.
But like it's cool. Like those games have not come out on any place or on any Nintendo platforms.
Yes, those games. That's true.
Yeah, San Andreas, Vice City, and 3 are.
Yeah, Chinatown Wars was
Chinatown
the only
Wars to everything else.
Man,
so.
Chinatown Wars is not the game it should be without the touchscreen.
That's true.
Because use your imagination. Is it a PSP? It has to be a PSP version, right?
There is.
Right. And that one is not as, again, kind of like how you control Murray in Rayman Legends on any other platform. How they kind of shanghaied all the touchscreen stuff in Chinatown Wars is not a fun way. It's like just hit buttons.
Was that like a pun? Is that like
it wasn't intended, and then I realized it afterwards. So I was like, that was not anywhere what I intended. But it's just like you hold down buttons to be like, undo these screws to, I don't know, like cut the brake lines or whatever.
I found that tablet that THQ made during that generation.
The Udraw?
I found that. Yeah.
Yes.
It was the 360 version.
That's not one that's worth money. But I think the Wii is actually still kind of like.
Why?
There was also a lot more software made for the Wii one.
That's true.
Because the Wii one came out a year and a half before the other two came out. So anyway,
we're supposed to let Mike get out of here at like 10.
Yeah, we
should kept talking. I did the price charting on the Udraw stuff. I don't think any of that's worth anything.
I thought the Wii one was worth more. I'm not saying any of them are.
I mean,
you said $1, $2.
Like the black
$4. That's 100%.
The black version of the Udraw tablet for the Wii has an unlisted price because there's nothing. There's no data.
Because no one's
There, it just doesn't exist. But like the high water mark on any of this stuff, the Udraw Studio Instant Artist version for the Wii, if it's unopened, is $48. That is the highest of any of it, according to price charting.
Gentlemen, you have your orders. Go get that game.
Yeah.
Right. Go to your 5 and 10 or whatever, and go find that, because it's probably somewhere in the back. So, but yeah,
it's a regular, even sealed, $20.
Hey, yo, Rockstar stuff. I would buy those games to have them on my Switch to play.
It all depends on the price. If they want $60 for all that, no, get out of here.
I mean, it'll go on sale later, but
I bet
even $60. If like
$20 a piece,
depending on how much work they put in, like that doesn't seem that bad. Like,
but I don't want. But that's the thing. I don't want to buy. I don't be like, oh, you're gonna pay upgrade price for all of them together. Like, no, I would pick and choose. If you said, here's GTA 3, $20, and it looks like Saints Row 3 remaster, I'd be like, well, maybe, but I don't want to pay $80 for 4 of these games. So it all depends. It's just whatever.
Gotcha.
Either way, I'm not going to play them, no matter what. But buy them or not, I mean, at best, I'll play them for 5 minutes and be like, "Oh yeah, I can still get run over by the cops."
You can drive in this game. They were.
Oh yeah. Does it still play that song from Scarface? Yeah. Oh, they still relicense it? No, they didn't. No, there's no music in this game at all. Okay, cool. $5. Oh, $20? No.
We removed the radio stations.
Man, I hope they relicense that music,
because that's the thing. They stripped out like half the audio from San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
Even if you owned it on Steam, they're just like, nah, it's gone. They
See,
just took it from you.
Man, I have the DVD copy of San Andreas somewhere.
Yeah, I've got it on PS2. I could play it.
But I have it. The PC version. Came on it. One of the first games that came on a DVD for PC.
Install it on a XP machine, I guess.
Well, I have that copy of Bad Day in LA that I got from Nitro that I never played.
Oh,
but he didn't either. So
that game is so bad.
And no one ever will.
Exactly. Anyway, Mike, shout outs, plugs. Go for it.
All right. Of course, as I have always done in the past, and I haven't for so long because it's been too long, I encourage anyone who's eligible to donate blood. And if you have any pets, to have them spayed or neutered. And other than that, I say, be careful, follow the news, pay attention. I hope you're vaccinated. I am. Pretty much everybody I know, for the most part, who's eligible. Obviously, there are age restrictions and things, but even if you are, pay attention to the metrics and do what makes sense, and then follow the regulations as they come along. Just stay informed.
Definitely.
Yeah. So James said he is Team Moderna. I'm Team Pfizer. We're still cool though.
Pfizer. I'm a Pfizer man.
I fight for House Johnson & Johnson, I believe.
Good luck to you, my man.
Well, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Fauci came out again today and said, like, people are probably going to need booster shots anyway. So
yeah, we're all going to need them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, is it like, do you have to get Johnson & Johnson now?
Again?
No, actually. So what's weird is what's going on. My understanding is there's only one hospital in San Francisco, but one hospital in San Francisco was saying, if you got the Johnson & Johnson, you can come in and get a booster shot of either Moderna or Pfizer.
Yeah.
And then the CDC came out and said, like, hey, we're not recommending this. Like, it's not bad. It won't hurt you, but it's not necessary. So,
gotcha. The booster itself or the switching
booster?
brands?
No, the booster. Because
they're getting there, though.
I had people, I mean, I know stories also of people, like, their work gave them Pfizer, but then they also then somehow got Moderna on, and, like, it was fine to mix and match. They were okay. No one grew a third limb, as far as I know.
The cocktail of life. All right. Well, I was going to say thank you for the folks who tuned in. Mike J and Scoop Moose and James and BC Terps is in the house.
Yes.
Will, I know who was here a little bit earlier. So thank you all for joining us. Mike.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes.
Also, we're signing off. So nearly a goodbye, but Yeah.
You know where to reach us. Go to GameEnthus.com and you can get all our stuff there. I'm still working on trying to get the podcast up in some fashion. Obviously, the new stuff will be up and widely available. The older stuff, it might take me a little while.
Come watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. You actually can. Thank you. You can watch a lot of them on YouTube for the last couple of years. So I suggest you do that. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, I thought Goose was going to leave one. He has some things to say about the Ascent, which I forgot to mention that I did play. Hopefully he'll leave one, and then we can get into discussion about the Ascent.
But like, I don't even think I got out of the starter area.
Serious bugs. But,
okay, good to know. I might need to listen to that before I try to attempt to pretend to install it, but then never play the game.
Hey, just a reminder, Psychonauts 2 comes out this month.
It does.
And it's on Game Pass.
I've been saying I need to beat the original forever, and I haven't done that.
You should. It's very good.
You know what I shouldn't do is take the shrink wrap off of the original, because that will devalue that.
Yes, you should not unshrink wrap.
But I think the original is on Game Pass as well. Right. So yeah.
So
easy stuff.
You can play it there.
So yeah, all you want to leave us a voicemail 202-573-7686, and that's it for me, Tiny.
I'm going to mention these two pieces of news real quick. One, Idris Elba apparently has been cast as Knuckles in the Sonic and Knuckles movie.
Yeah, did you see that? Jackie Harris, Jackie Harry said, like, did you see what she said?
No,
she said something like, can I be a villain in Sonic 2? Because I know a place that Knuckles could, like, something like, I'm a place that Knuckles could put his fist into. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Got very explicit. I see.
Okay. And then she tweeted after that, she was like, I'm sorry, I'm kidding. His wife is very lovely. I'm sure he's happy. Nice save. Nice save.
And then that open world Power Rangers game that was in like early design sounded cool. Like they wanted to do like an Arkham Asylum, but it was multiplayer and like different Power Rangers across the universe. It's probably a lot more money than anyone would ever spend on a Power Rangers game to make it, but it sounded cool. So aside from that, hey, it is August. We are most of the way. 2022 starts in 4 months, which is a weird thing to wrap your head around.
No, I'm not ready.
And I'm still writing 2020 on things now and again.
So if you haven't signed up,
I don't know.
If you haven't signed up to support your local Children's Miracle Network hospitals, you can still do that by going to extra-life.org and picking a hospital near and dear to your heart. It might be the one close to you, it might be one you grew up with, whatever. And then you can raise money by playing games and getting your friends and family to donate. And if you can't take part, you can go to GameEnthus.com/extra-life and donate to one of your favorite GameEnthus personalities. 100% of it going directly to the hospital. We support like John Hopkins Children's Hospital, Children's Hospital Philadelphia, Children's National. So yeah, it was Benioff. I think. Oh God. Derek's supporting Benioff, right? I think so, in Oakland, San Francisco. Or was he UC? He might have been UC Children's. He was one of the California hospitals. There's like 12, so I'm trying to remember. Hospital systems. So yeah, so check that out. Like I said, go to GameEnthus.com/extra-life and donate what you can. Like I said, 100% of it goes directly to the Children's Hospital. And I don't know if you're in the Philadelphia area this weekend. We are doing our first guild meeting. It'll be virtual, but you can find more info on our Extra Life Philadelphia Discord or on the Extra Life Philadelphia Facebook page. So we'll talk about like, hey, where are we at fundraising? We're going to attend one event this year, which will be too many games.
Nice.
Assuming it happens.
Yes. Again, everyone's following local regulations. And then Tabletop Weekends? The last weekend in this month, so we might be doing something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that, and then game day is in November, and we'll figure out when Extra Life is actually doing their stuff. So, and where we're going to do that stuff, it might be a different venue. But I'm also okay, or everyone can come to Delaware. So,
hi, we're in Delaware.
So, but yeah. But that's about all I can think of right now. So,
all right, that's it. Till next week.
Next week, you say?
2 weeks in a row.
And then I'm off, and I'm Go on a vacation week after that. But we'll be back.
Metal Gear. What?
A walking vacation.
I mean, that could be a thing.
Peace.
Later.